Hey guys, and welcome back. Crazy Gamers Games Model Making. I just uploaded a video on some of the new paints I'm going to be using for future builds. This build, that Typhoon aircraft build, the build along tank that I still have not yet to pick, but I will pick. But this is an update on the Bergepanther, what we got so far. As you can see, I got the floorboards. Get a little zoom in here. I got the floorboards in with the seats painted up. I got some detail painted on the back panel. I got that in. We're going to go ahead and loosen up our clamp now. Take our clamp off. Our clamp worked great. Wish I would have used it for clamping on the sides, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. So that's holding real good. So I'm going to take a break from the hull section. Oh, let me just show you what the engine's going to look like in there. Just boom, just like that. It's going to look like that. Oh yeah, engine in there. Boom. I might make the engine removable. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's what it's going to look like with the engine in it. So take the engine. Oh, and I put a little bit of red on the piping there. I think I showed that in the last video. And the rust effects, things like that. So we're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to talk about something that is well, it's a nightmare to some people, but I don't mind it. I like tedious things. So, and challenges. So we're going to talk about these tracks. These are link and length tracks. So you got a large bottom section, a smaller top section, some, 4 links for the some of the rises on the bottom, and you do get a mold, a track building jig. So you have a shorter long piece, the longer long piece down here, one of the fours, and then individual links would go around here like this and around here like this. So if you look, I don't want to take them off of the sprue because it'll show you. I'll show you why in a minute. That one would fit in there, and then that one would fit there, and then you would glue them together. So it fits in there. So these don't have guide horns. But oh look, here's the guide horns. And they are all connected to each other. And you don't want to cut them off. In the instructions, let me get the instructions and I'll show you what the instructions show you to do, and then I'll show you a demonstration of it. There's going to be a 2-part video on these tracks because there's some issues. So here's basically what you're going to do. You're going to cut off of F2 here, off the F sprue, which is the guide horns, and you're going to leave the sprue gate attached. And what you're going to do is you're going to glue them onto the C sprue, which is the tracks, while they're all still connected. And then I would recommend letting it sit for like 2 or 3 days and let that glue fully cure before you attempt to cut the little sprue tabs that connect the guys on. I don't know if you can see that, but point this out to you here. Here's the connection points right here. Right here, right here. There's 2 on each of these guide horns, and you got to cut them off after they're glued on. So I've done. I wanted to try this because I didn't want to just, do the video and it just total failure. So I glued, this is as far as I've gotten. I haven't done any other than just gluing these 2 on. I glued this one on yesterday, and it's semi-permanent, but yeah, it's going to be fun. And then I glued this one on just a little bit ago with some quick set, and it's firmed up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to glue these on. I'll do this long section here, so Get that in view right there because it's tricky. So we're going to come over here and we're going to cut out with our cutters. We're going to cut out F1, which is this longer piece at the top right here. So I'm just going to cut it right along the connection point of that long bar. So I got this now. It is kind of sturdy. And now I need to, if you look, you can see there is a little divot right there for the bottom of these horns to glue into. As you can see, the little section on the horn here. That was too much, sorry guys. You can see right here, there's a little bitty stand up right there. Right there, and it goes into this little section right there. So it's going to go in there just like that. So now let me see if I can get this in the shot here. And I'm going to put this there like that, and I'm going to do this back one. Now you want to make sure the smooth side is on the inside of the track, and you can see that. So you can see, if you're looking at the outside of the track, you can see that the there's two little pieces. They go to the outside of the track. It's hard to see that when you're putting them on, but the smooth side goes on the inside. And then they have to have this little V. You want them to look like that. Which that leads me to believe that they go on the other way. Huh. They do go on the other way. See, now I'm confused. Okay, so scratch what I said. If you look at the track piece here, the detailed side goes on the inside and the smooth side goes on the outside. But if you look everywhere else, it shows the detail on the outside and the smooth side on the inside. Also, if you on this one that I did, it clips over this bottom part, but it's not going to fit over these wider sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. I'm going to attempt to cut these off here with my 1, 2, 3 cutters. I'm going to try to do this in the shot here. I'm going up right up next to it so I don't have anything hardly to clean up. Okay, there's that one. And then let me do this one now. I'm sorry if this is not in shot. I'll go out a little bit so you can see, because I have to do this under a magnifier, because these parts are tiny. So I apologize that this turns out to be a long video. This is fiddly and tedious. I'm not saying it's bad. It is not fun to do, but I want to make sure I'm putting these track horns on correctly. See, if you look at the way they are now, they're kind of splayed. they're kind of splayed out. And I want to see if they fit. See, they don't fit in. They fit. If you look at where let's see, this one goes on this side. Nope. Goes in there like that, and then we'll put this idler wheel back here. And if you, it goes on there, but then it's supposed to also fit in between these sections. And see, I just bent one. So, and they're already coming loose. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna glue them. I'm gonna glue this next section the other way. I know I cut off the long one, but I'm gonna cut off another section of 4. And I'm gonna glue this the opposite way. And we're gonna see if that's any different. And what I'm gonna do is, sorry for bumping the camera, I'm going to cut this track link out so I don't knock any of the ones off that I've already done. And I have to flip, if I have to flip, well, I'm just not gonna flip them around. I'll learn on the next one. This is a learning project. So I'm gonna take this here like so. Then in the shot, it is in the shot. And I'm gonna take, this time I'm going to put the detail in like it shows on the detailed picture. And we'll see how that turns out. A little bit of extra thin glue. Now let's take a look at it here. You see that? See now? It is 90 degrees to, it's 90 degrees to the outside, and it's kind of feathered in on the inside. And that looks exactly like this picture here. But as I said, all these other pictures are confusing on the way that it has you doing it. So, and this one is saying to cut off the top. I think you have to cut off the top of the guide horns also. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Where is that length I cut off? So this track link would basically, I'm dropping it, basically go down here like that, but it doesn't seem to fit. Yeah, it doesn't seem to fit. It does fit. It does fit this, and if I think it's any wider to fit around this track jig, it's gonna rub. But we'll see how this next one does. We're gonna glue on this next piece the same way we glued on the last one here. So we are gonna do the detail on the inside this time. And we're gonna add our Tamiya, the little spots there. We're gonna stick it down. I'm really sorry if this is boring, guys, but I just want to show you how to do these tracks, because when I okay, this one has a splayed one in it. Alright, so now I'm going to push that down like so. And the details on the inside this time. And then I'm going to run some quick set along it, just to accelerate and stiffen up that bond. Alright. Now, so we got those screwed on. We've seen how they cut off there. So I am going to call it for this video, and I'm going to let this one set up. And then I'll be back tomorrow with another video with an answer on how these tracks go and the correct way to glue them. And we'll start putting them on the jig. The jig, I'll hopefully have one whole side done. And then I can show you how to do another side. You know, I'll do all the gluing the right way on the other side. But I just want to test this to see how it works. Let's see, it fits around the return roller. Oh, I see. It doesn't have to go around it just has to butt up against it like that. It just goes up against it like that. So it doesn't fit in between. That was my mistake. But we'll take a look at which way to glue these on, which of the drawings is correct. I might even do a couple Google searches or look in my book to see what the proper thing is. Actually, I believe the book is right here. Let's see if we can't look at the Panther tracks to see which way. See, if you look at this Panther, sorry about the glare, you can see the track. So the detail is on the outside of the horn. So the first way I glued it was correct with the detail on the outside. So if you look onto an actual picture of a Panther tracks, which is this is the Visual Modeler Guide, Panther by Mig. Let's see here if we can't find these tracks. Here we go. See, here is a good picture of the tracks, and as you can see, that detail, it's glossy, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. You can see the detail on the track here, this section on this guide horn right here. You can see that that matches this detail right here on this section of the guide horn. So you want to glue this out like I did on the first track. As you can see, it's glued out so it matches what is in the book. If you look at the instruction book by Takom, it does show that on multiple pictures, but if you look at this picture up here of what a track is supposed to look like, it has it reversed. So that's not correct. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't get confused for later, is I'm going to put an X through this, and I'm going to circle this area right here to show that's what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to be on the outside. And then also, hey, here's a quick tip I'm going to throw in here. Let me zoom out here. Here's a quick tip I'm going to throw in. When you build a section, I mark off the pieces I used. Like I used D2 and D3 because there was an option, and I like the D3 option. This is what I picked for that. It has different kind of detail on it, but not much difference. And then I built the idler gear. Okay, and then I placed both F4s there. So, and then that keeps track of what I've done and what I haven't done. So now that I know the correct way to glue it on, thank you, Mig, in your Panther book. That is fantastic. So I'm going to glue this long one on now and show you how to glue one of the longer ones on and see how that works out. And see, I have one that is fouled up in there, so that one's going to be tricky. I just want to check them all. See, there's a little bit of flash on this right. I don't know if I can show it to you. Zoom back in. Sorry about all the zooming today. There's a little bit of flash right there. And you know that would have fouled the whole thing up. So check all those mounting points on there. And I'm going to put my magnifiers on, and I'm going to move that to there. And I am going to glue this the correct way that we looked in the book for. The actual picture of a Panther. And I'm going to glue these four right there first. I'm going to make sure that they're down. And then I'm going to move along here, put some glue in, make sure those are set correctly. Then I'm going to move down the line here, and I'm going to make sure all those are going into their correct location. Moving on down here. This is a long run, and you get one out of line and it's going to foul your tracks. So you want to. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to, almost broke off my other ones. So we're going to look at that like that, and it looks, needs to go over a little bit and down in some spots. Alright, so from the other side, I'm going to use the quick set. Just flow it on there. And this is in shot, I'm sorry. Back out. There we go. So I'm just flooding it with the quick set now so it sets up. I'm still going to let this sit probably most of the day before I attempt to cut all these nibs off. I'll probably cut all the nibs off tomorrow and assemble the track for you guys. Show you how it's done, how I'm going to clean up the little sprue gates that are left. But as you can see, that's all there. It's in the right position. None of the guide horns got too fouled up. So there's that. Let me show you one of these middle sections that are a little bit different. You would think you'd have to put those on one at a time, but they did do these in one long piece also. And I'm assuming that they glue down just the same if you do it in the right direction. And we now know the right direction is this one goes here. And you got to make sure, because one has 6 and one has 5. So make sure you glue the 6 to the 6 and the 5 to the 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get those 3 lined up first. Get those 3 lined up like that. Let them sit for a second. Then I'm going to come to these other 3 here. Get them in their spots. 1, 2, 3, that. And then give it a little tap there. Then I'm going to take a look at it to make sure it's going the right way. They're all sitting down. That one's not sitting down correctly. That one's there. Then I'm going to get the quick set from the other side. Maybe you can see this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to check it again through a magnifier because it's small and I'm blind as a bat. I've done this magnifier work so long building figures and stuff that it's like when I stop using it after a couple hours, I see funny. So I'm so used to looking through a magnifier. Because I have sometimes I use a double magnifier. That's on right there. I'll show you what I mean. I use this little set right here with a light, and then these are interchangeable. These things are not expensive. They are a couple dollars on Amazon. You know, it takes 3 AAA batteries. It has a 2 LED torch light on it. These can be swapped out. This one currently is a 2.5 times magnification. I think you can go up to 3 and all the way down to 0.75 or 1 times magnification. And then I also have, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in the shot, but I'll bring it down. I also have this large scale magnifier that's connected to my table. And then I can, well, that might actually work for you guys too. Let's see. Oh yeah, that does. See how you can get a magnification of a broader, and it has a little light on it too. You get a magnification of a broader thing there. So you can see that's how I glued that one, and that's how I glued that one. And the further away you go, the bigger it gets. But that's basically the two magnifiers that I use, and they work pretty good for me. The one I bring down, that one I use the least, but like for building that engine, sorry for the camera bump again. For building the engine, it was just a necessity. I used both. I looked through both, and it was still, the parts were still tiny. So I might clip these off through that magnifier or the other magnifier, depending on how well these set up. But that's basically it. That's the tracks. That's how they're going to go together, putting these guide horns on. In the next video, hopefully tomorrow, it'll be another video on tracks, putting them together and getting them glued up in a way that we can still paint them and weather them and then put them on the tank. For Crazy Gamers Games and Model Making, I'm the Crazy Gamer. Have a great day.